Oh, here we go again. $55 mechanical RGB clone keyboard. I'm Real Gian and welcome to the channel. The thing that sticks out the most from the first look is the keycaps. I am surprised they decided to go with the ABS keycaps. And these ones attract so much dust and dirt really easily and really quickly, but they do look good when I first open the box. The font here is definitely more on the office friendly side. The layout is standard, so if the keycap look is just getting too disgusting later on, you can easily find another keycap set. The only issue here is that the keycap set might cost almost as much as a keyboard. This is a relatively stylized keyboard, so it might catch some attention if you plan on bringing it to the office. It's relatively compact, so with those limited desk space people, you guys can probably give this a try. There's a logo on the top of the keyboard and not on the top of the arrow key, so some of you might actually like that. The keycaps does look pretty busy with those secondary functions on them, and you have media controls bound to the F keys. Some might not like that. It's a typical floating key design that comes with most clone keyboards. It's a good design because it's easy and simple to clean. This keyboard uses the Ultimu red switches, which is a first for me, and I kinda like it. It's different than the MX red, but it's a nice balance if you're someone that likes tactile switches like me. The weight actually helps when it comes to typing. The sound is also pretty pleasant, and overall I do like the bounce back. The keys doesn't sink in that much, or it doesn't give you that sinking feeling like most red switches tend to have, or at least that's how I feel when I type on it. Personally, I tend to bottom out reds because I don't know if I actually hit the keys, so it could possibly be just me making a lot of typos that way. I feel like the more red switches I use, the better I like them and the better I get used to them. But it's nowhere near liking browns or blue switches. It's a preference thing. You might like reds. And anyways, here's what the keyboard sounds like. This keyboard uses cherry stabilizers, which is nice because it's easier to take out the longer keycaps. I typically like cherry stabilizer more because I don't have to deal with the metal wires and the plastic pieces when it comes to pulling out the longer keycaps. If you don't care for cleaning or modding your keyboard, then I would say go for the Cold-Star one, because the longer keycaps feel better, or at least that's when I remembered it. Didn't think I would say something like this for a clone keyboard. Anyways, this is the typical thin ABS caps that's found in most name brand gaming keyboards. I like the way how the keycaps look, however the materials being used, this is something that's gonna fade and it's gonna look ugly rather quickly. For the price of the keyboard, honestly, I think this is fine because it's not an arm and a leg, so I can kinda let this one slide. The wrist rest game here is pretty much on the same level as the Corsair K70. It's hard plastic. There are hooks to hold the wrist rest together. I did not put the wrist rest on this keyboard because these hooks seems really flimsy, and I honestly think I would break them if I try to put them on. It's not worth it. I don't recommend it. The flip-up feet does have rubber on them, so the keyboard will be planted at both gaming and typing. Besides this, the back is pretty plain, but you can't really expect much from the back of a keyboard. The cable is braided, the USB tip is gold, you get cable management velcro, so it's a pretty nice combination in my book, but I know some people probably don't like this combination. The software is pretty much just like the software from other clone keyboards. The interface is pretty much identical, the only difference is the brand that's around the software. There are lots of lighting effects and you can set the per key lighting, but no layers, which is pretty common when it comes to these keyboards. I'm pretty sure there isn't a community behind the software like big players in the industry, so you do get what you paid for in the software department. I think this is fine because most of your money is spent on hardware anyways. Software is kind of an add-on. Overall, $55 is still a really good deal for what you're getting. I would recommend this over any of the budget membrane option from those big name manufacturers. You're getting a mechanical keyboard with a standard layout. It's fully RGB. So the value here is strong. Honestly, I think these budget clone keyboards are the way to go for those that want most of what the expensive keyboards can offer, but not pay an arm and a leg. The main thing is that you have to settle is the software. So if you're okay, then I would recommend getting this. But if you want to show off, have layers of lighting effects, then avoid this one. Anyways, subscribe, click bell for more content. You guys stay awesome.